Welcome, everybody out there, to another episode of Sis and Big Pops Culture, number 44.
Woo woo.
I am Todd Turner, aka Big Pops, and as always, my lovely co host.
Hi, sweet friends. I'm Hannah Jo, aka Sis, and together we're an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Every episode is family friendly.
That's right, we don't say the bad words.
Heyo! And we
And
talk about not bad things.
exactly, fun stuff.
Fun
But
stuff.
it's for the whole family, not meaning that
Whole
everything we
family
talk about is for the whole
indeed.
family, but we talk about things that
Things
pertain
that
to
could be
all
interesting for
members.
each person in a family.
Exactly, depending upon themselves. Hannah, what's the lowdown? What are we doing?
So we are going to talk about some nerd news today. We're going
Nerd
to get
news.
into what we've been enjoying and perhaps binging. It's turned into like what we've watched because neither of us are like binging anything really right now. But like that's fine. I don't care. We make the
Mhm.
rules. Dad's gonna share with
Right.
us his pull list, and then we are going to talk about. We're gonna review a movie and a comic. We're gonna review the first 5 issues of an Eternals trade by Jack Kirby,
The
and we're
original.
going
That's
to
the OG. First
That's the
time
first ever.
ever.
Cool. Okay,
Hmm.
I have things,
Yeah.
and
There's yeah.
then and then we are going to talk about, man, I consider this to be a Turner family like classic.
It's you and me for sure. I don't know
Well,
about anybody else,
I think
but
Nathan and Miriam maybe. I know mom
maybe.
doesn't really love it,
Okay.
but
Speed
Speed
Racer
Racer.
from like 2008, I think, something like that.
It was before then, wasn't
I
it?
don't know. I don't know.
Go
Anyway,
Speed Racer.
go
Ba,
Speed
ba, ba,
Racer,
ba,
go!
ba. I know that it had come out to DVD by 2013 because I watched it sitting on a couch with one of my pals from
All right.
college, and we laughed
Gotcha.
hysterically about it.
All
So
right.
it
Well,
was
we're going
at
to dive
least
into
by
it because we
DVD at
love
that
it.
point.
You
We
know
do.
what? We did have one other viewer because now there's none, and I'm still watching. So there we go.
It
Hannah,
says 1997. That's not right. You were right. It's 2008.
there you go.
Nerd news.
Nerd news. Our typewriters are going. You know, I only know one
From the Nerd
person that
News
has
Desk.
has real typewriters, and that's my
Who?
friend Sheila. She has a collection. Sheila
I
English. Go
believe
check
that
her
about
out
her.
on her
She's cool, man.
Circle of Seven
She,
production, COS
man, she's
Productions.
cool.
Anyway,
She copyrighted the word book trailer.
I know that's cool. We
She's
should
such a cool cat.
talk about her. We can have her and Ed on.
We could. Oh,
Anywho,
that'd be fun.
Hannah, what do you got for me for news?
So, news. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
films have changed the release dates. I have
Oh
4
yeah.
films who've changed their release dates.
All right. Does that
So
bother me?
Top Gun, I don't know.
I
Top
didn't
Gun
even
is
know
not
when it
coming
was.
out this November. It's now coming out May of next year.
Who cares?
So push
Sorry,
back a
Tom.
minute.
Yeah.
So because of that, Mission Impossible has been moved to September 30th, 2022.
That's another Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
That
so
seems a
two
weird date.
two Tom Cruise movies have been pushed back.
Gotcha.
Um,
What?
Jack A Forever has been pushed back.
I don't even know it. Oh, Jack Forever has been pushed back. I
Yeah,
get it.
from October 22nd to February 4th.
And again, don't really care. So far,
And
you've not hurt my feelings.
Ghostbusters has moved from November 11th to November 18th. So they've just pushed that one
Just
back
a
7
week.
days.
That one seems interesting. I might want to
That
see
one, I'm for sure going to go see that.
Gotcha.
The reason that Ghostbusters has been pushed back is it's by the same studio as Top Gun, and they didn't want to release Ghostbusters and Top Gun on the same weekend. So they were releasing Ghostbusters the weekend before
But
Top Gun.
I thought
But
you just said now Top Gun's going to
because
be.
now Top Gun is being pushed back, they're releasing Ghostbusters the weekend they were going to release Top Gun.
All right.
So they're releasing
What-
it the weekend before Thanksgiving. That way they can get people before Thanksgiving and the week of Thanksgiving.
I guess.
I care a
Oh,
lot
well.
about movies.
I know. Well, since you care a lot about movies,
Mm.
Netflix has now announced Christmas movie number 3
Oh,
coming out
yeah,
at
baby.
Thanksgiving. This
What is
looks
it?
more. This looks more like a Hallmark original, but
Yeah. Okay, is it in the Princess Switch?
it's called A Castle for Christmas.
Oh my goodness, yes!
So it stars
Woo!
Brooke Shields and Carrie Elwes. I can never pronounce his name right. He's the Dread Pirate Roberts from the Princess Bride.
Castle for Christmas.
So she is the trailer. I'm not giving anything away. She is a writer and she's lost her edge, and her grandfather loved this castle in Scotland, so she goes there, and this castle is for sale. Just happens to be owned by the Dread Pirate Roberts, and she options to buy it. She has a 90-day. She pays a deposit, and his deal is, if I can kick her out, if I can get her to leave in 90 days, I can keep the money. And I got a feeling romance.
They fall in love, duh.
I hope. I don't know. Anyway, it looks cute.
It's a holiday rom-com, Dad. Okay. So I need you to know that there's a series of Netflix Christmas films that are like cheesy rom-com, like holiday
this
Christmas
doesn't
films.
look cheesy,
and there's
though.
oh no, I hope that it is, because
It looks fun.
love them. But it's like The Princess Switch, and there's another one where it's like a prince, it's another prince, and they like live in places that like aren't real, and they're like
What?
they're like places, like they live in like Genovia or something like that, like a
Oh,
place
I
that
gotcha.
doesn't exist.
Okay,
And they're
gotcha.
like, there's a universe, like there's this like fan theory that all of these movies and
Oh
all of
my
these people are
gosh.
connected.
That's just weird. So I think it's interesting that they've got the animated, the stop action animation one for little kids. The one, A Boy Called Christmas, this looks like it's more for like a younger family.
Like a tween.
And then this one is for adults. Like they're hitting them all. So yeah.
Netflix got into the Christmas movie game a couple years ago and has been going strong since then.
Did you watch the Stranger Things trailer for season
I did.
4?
I was going to bring that up.
What do you think about that?
The one about California.
Yeah, it looks weird. And she's being bullied.
Like,
You don't bully 11. That's just bad.
Are her powers gone though?
No, are you kidding me?
I think they're
Here's the deal. I didn't watch season 3.
I think they're gone. I
Well,
think her powers are quote unquote gone.
I think they're going to get wild on spring break, and I don't mean like Panama City. I'm serious, right? Because it's all about her going back to see the crew during spring break. So, yeah. Okay. What else you got?
I watched the Morbius trailer.
What do you think about that?
Here's the thing. Trev and I have the like Regal Unlimited thing. So we just go see movies. It's just something like, and I love seeing movies in the theater. This seems like I literally have an arrow and wrote wild in all caps. Like
Okay.
it looks bonkers to me.
Well, you went and saw the Carnage movie.
And Eternals.
I didn't see Eternals, but
I saw
goodness
Eternals.
gracious, you're like out of control.
I didn't need you to know I saw 3 movies in 3 days. No, 3 movies in 1 day.
That's just, did you exercise? I mean, we got to get doing something instead of sitting there watching movies. Is your butt numb?
No,
Anyway,
I'm
so
fine. It was a good day.
they are the Sony Spider-Man universe is basically where he fits in there.
100%.
Yeah. And
That
I
was
have
the
a
vibe I
feeling
got.
that after this Spider-Man movie comes out, we won't see Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Tom Holland's
anymore.
not going to be in it. I don't think
He
so
gone.
either.
And I got a feeling, I don't know. I think Sony's going to take Spider-Man back from Marvel because they own him anyway and make just terrible movies. Like, who knows? But
Here's
anyway,
Carnage.
so
I mean, we haven't gotten there yet, but I didn't hate Carnage.
that's okay. But it was sort of like somebody told me it was like a rom-com. Almost. Like a romantic.
Between who?
I don't know. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, let's finish our news. So you saw Mobius. I saw
the
Morbius as well.
Yeah,
Morbius.
I saw it.
Mobius
I
is a
think
famous comic book artist.
It's a movie that I'm for sure going to go see because it's superhero, which is what I like, and kind of is like
Vampire.
horror genre-esque, which is something Trev really likes. And so it just is
He's a
movie
tragic hero.
It's a movie we're going to end up going to see. It looks sad.
Yeah, as I said, he's a tragic hero.
It just looks sad.
He tries to cure crap, and instead he
Becomes a vampire.
becomes a vampire, the living vampire. What do you got?
Sad.
While we're on
okay.
horror stuff, hold on.
Okay, bring it on. Bring it
Disney
on.
announced they're going to do a Werewolf by Night, which is also a Marvel comic book Halloween special next year, and they've already cast someone. So Werewolf by Night is a Marvel it's pretty much he's a werewolf, but he keeps his human knowledge and ability, so he knows he's a werewolf. He's not like crazy werewolf. Anyway, yeah. What were you gonna say?
Okay, so I think we've talked about this before about how Redeeming Love is going to be made into a movie.
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Okay, so
explain what Redeeming Love is,
I was
other than
getting
one of
ready
your
to.
mom's favorite novels.
So, Redeeming Love is a novel by Francine Rivers. It is like it's a retelling,
Western telling of
a reimagining of the
book
book of Hosea from the Old Testament. And
Right.
in the book of Hosea in the Bible, Hosea is a prophet who is told to marry a lady of the night.
Exactly.
And
So
shenanigans ensue, and it's like an allegory for how the Lord feels about the church at that time.
how he does anything to get his bride back,
Yeah,
even
to
though
get
they
Israel
seldom,
to.
yeah, right.
So
And
it's
so
a
this set in the Western.
It's a Western retelling of the book of Hosea. The main character's name is Michael Hosea, and it's just a retelling of that story. This book was my like coming of age book. Is how I think about it. Like, I remember that it sat on the bookshelf. It's this girl in this giant red dress. It said "Redeeming Love" in cursive script.
Like a Western.
I was not
an old
allowed
Western.
to read this book. It sat on the shelf, just out of reach.
Hilarious.
I knew I wasn't allowed to
It
read
wasn't
it.
out of reach. You could have reached it if
I
you
could
not.
have reached it, but it was like high. It was on like mom's shelf.
Yeah, I got
You know what I mean? Like, it was with
You're
her
weirdy.
books. I'm not. This is like
Go
how
ahead.
I thought about things
Okay.
in
All
my
right.
childhood.
I got it.
Mom, I was doing this thing where I was raising money for something, and mom was paying me to read books, and she would pick the book, and I would write a
one-page
essay about
ditty.
it afterwards.
Right.
And she let me read that book, and
Oh,
then
wow.
I let all of my friends.
Read the book.
All of my friends like borrowed the book, and it just
Gotcha.
became this thing that we all talked about when I was in.
The Sisterhood of Traveling Books.
Yes. So this
All of
is a
that to
very
say
important
this.
book.
Yeah.
There's a trailer.
No,
There's
really?
a trailer. There's a trailer, and it's coming out in January. It's coming out January 22nd of
Like,
next
what
year.
studio is putting it out? Do you
I have
know?
no idea. And here's
Okay,
the
we'll have
thing:
to look at it. I'll have to
if
look
this
into that,
movie
'cause
is
your
not
mom will-
PG-13, I'm gonna be frustrated
It'll
because
be
I don't know how
PG-13.
how they'll be able to do the things that they need to do for the book to be portrayed correctly, and for
Well,
I was talking to
The
Trevor about it.
Bible's
It's-
is rated in
book-
for mature, so
The book is a retelling of so the movie is a retelling of an allegory for the church, which I just think is really funny. So it's a retelling of
Yeah.
a retelling of a metaphor.
nice. Gotcha.
Which I thought,
Good
but
one.
man, I'm really excited.
Oh,
I
wow,
watched
that's
the trailer
cool.
and I'm just really excited. I might have cried while I watched the trailer. I'm really excited about it. And I hope
I didn't know
man,
that.
I hope that it's
So-
good, Dad.
So the trailer I watched just sort of looks like a turd next to that. Then
Oh, what'd you watch?
8-Bit Christmas. Have you seen that?
I
Have you
haven't.
seen that?
What is it?
It is Neil Patrick Harris telling the story to his kids about when he was in 1987 or 88, how all he wanted for Christmas was a Nintendo, and how he and his friends wanted to get a Nintendo, and that's what they did. So it's sort of like they go to the mall, they do all the shenanigans ensue, they have to battle this. They
have to
want is
battle.
one Nintendo. They end up having to do like community service and all this. It looks hilarious. Yeah. So all that to get a Nintendo.
It's
The
by
8-Bit
Universal.
Christmas. Oh, okay. Well, 8-Bit Christmas is it comes out 11/24 on HBO Max. So there's like 1,000 movies coming out Thanksgiving weekend, and terrible football. So not that football's terrible, but that there'll be teams that are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You got any more news?
I watched the Book of Boba Fett trailer.
Oh, I did too.
Pretty sick.
Even the galaxy all has an underworld or something like that. Yeah, I'm for it. Here's the deal. So you watch the trailer, and like when somebody questions him at that big round table. Do you remember that there's a table and they question him, and then there's like a thing, and then he comes back and he says, "I welcome all questions." Did you notice that they had their masks had changed? So something had happened. Like
I hadn't noticed that.
Ming-Na Wen had her hat on when she didn't have one.
Oh, he had a dent. He had a
So
dent in his.
Something
did.
happened. I guarantee you
I bet they got
Yeah.
into a scuffle, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you think you in charge, but you ain't."
Did you hear that there's a Wicked adaptation, live
I
action?
did. I did.
Donut Liquor is going
There's
to be one of them.
don't,
Sorry, Donut
Daddy.
Liquor, Ariana Grande, and I don't know this other girl, Cynthia Erivo or whatever. Anyway, she has a Grammy, a Tony, and an Emmy. So she the real
James Corden
thing.
got picked to be is being one of the characters as well.
Really, I don't know it. I've never seen it. So
I again saw it. I saw it, and
you saw this
went.
on Broadway, didn't you?
I saw it on Broadway. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So,
went. I wanted to go to New York City for that was one of my birthday present
Yeah.
when I turned 18. I
Right.
got tickets to see Cinderella on
Mhm.
Broadway, and our Wicked tickets came with our flight, which was confusing to
What?
me. But Mom was like,
Bonkers.
"Yeah, we got like this flight room deal, and Wicked tickets came along with it."
Wicked tickets. That sounds funny.
Wicked tickets.
Oh gosh. Hey, Avatar, The Last Airbender
A
cookbook
cookbook.
coming out.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
You saw it
Isn't
too?
that funny? Yeah, I
It is
did.
funny. I've got my avatar in the background. So
I saw
it's
Aim back there.
recipes from the 4 nations.
That's
I've
hysterical.
I've only watched one ish episode, and I really would like to watch it. It's
It's
just
Actually,
there's
it's
just
a
not
good
enough
show.
time in the day.
Well, watch it while you're working on Silver Surfer.
There you go. I have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. You got any more?
Nope, that's all for me.
I had one more. There's
Okay.
a book coming out in July of next year called Learning How to Create Comics the Marvel Way. There used
Ooh.
to be a book ages ago that taught the Marvel way to make comic books. And actually, one of the comic books that I collect right now, Inkblot by Image, which is done by Emma Kubert and another one, somebody else.
But with
she,
a cat.
yeah, she talks about using the Marvel method in the back of her book, but that makes sense because her dad and her grandpa both drew for Marvel and wrote. So, I have books. That's terrible. I've already mentioned this. I have comic books by this lady, her dad, and her grandpa. That's how old I am.
That's so cool. That's
Anyway.
that's cool.
It's written by Mark Waid,
legacy.
who's a big Marvel writer. So
Cool.
it should be cool. Yeah.
Fun.
That's it. Hannah. So what are you
Yes.
watching? Not
Okay,
binging.
so we had a marathon movie day on Saturday.
That's what I heard.
We watched Venom,
Yeah.
the first one, because we
Right.
hadn't seen the second one.
Oh, on wherever it is.
On Hulu.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu with ads.
Yeah, it is. Mhm.
But it's on Hulu with ads if you have Hulu Live,
Which we do.
which you have.
Right. There are some people that don't have Hulu Live and you can't get it.
And if you don't have Hulu Live, you can't get it.
Right. Okay.
But if you do have Hulu Live, you can watch it with commercials.
Correct. Mhm.
Man, it was bad.
I couldn't get through it.
It was
I
bad.
literally turned it off.
It was
My
genuinely not good.
Well, my issue with it was he's such a jerk.
Tom
I
Hardy?
mean, he gets into his girlfriend's computer,
Oh no, yeah, he's not a good guy.
and when he did that, I automatically said, I can't watch this movie. I literally turned it off right there. But a lot of people love it.
The first movie was not good. I mean,
Okay.
it was like the acting was just bad.
It made $1 billion. So
It made a bazillion. It was one of the top 10 grossing films of 2018.
Oh wow!
It was one of the top 10 grossing films of 2018 when that movie came out, which
Cool.
I need
Good
you to
for
know
them.
blew my mind.
which is
I'm
why
like,
Sony's
how
not
in the
going to get
world?
rid of anything. They're
How
gonna
in the
keep all
world?
their garb.
So watched that, then went to watched Venom Let
Carnage.
There Be Carnage. Much better than the first
Okay,
one.
good.
Much better than the first one.
Directed by
was-
Andy Serkis.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
good
cool.
for him.
hmm
Good for him. Enjoyed it. It was
Okay.
funny. Made me laugh. The action was cool. The dialogue between Venom and Eddie is hysterical.
Yeah, they said that's pretty humorous. That's what I heard.
Is hysterical.
So in the comic book, Cletus Cassidy is just a psycho.
Oh yeah. 100%
Mm-hmm.
was
Okay.
not okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad he was a psycho.
It was so funny. They showed up. So Venom and Eddie showed up to like fight Carnage, which is Carnage and Cassidy. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there's like this woman he's in love
I have
with
Carnage in behind me.
who like screams,
Uh-huh. That's funny.
like makes noises, Like it
Gotcha.
goes,
Oh,
"Ah!" like
her name
sonic
is
sound.
Scream. That's
Yeah.
her name in the
Yeah.
comic book. Scream.
So she's in
Anyway,
love with Cletus. Is that true?
I have no clue.
Well, they're in love.
Gotcha.
And so he shows up and to their wedding, which is
Nice.
silly. But they get they get there and Venom's like, "You didn't tell me he was a blood one." Like, because he was red. And apparently that's like a special type of like,
Gotcha.
symbiote. And
I
he's
don't
like,
know
we're
much
gonna
about it."
lose. He's like, well, let's leave. Let's just let him be here. We'll just go. We don't need to
Gotcha.
do this. We're just gonna die.
Nice.
And Eddie's like, no, we can't just we have to stay here. No, Venom's like, no, let's just go.
So
Let's
Venom
just
was
let
afraid of him.
Yeah, Venom didn't want to fight him.
Gotcha.
And there was this one thing where where Carnage is like in front of this circle. So the big fight happens at this like church that's being like
Right.
restored. And
Right.
he like becomes this big creepy thing
Right.
in front of
Looks
this
like a
circle
stained
stained
glass.
glass window.
Mhm.
And it was phenomenal.
Well,
It
that's
was great.
cool. I've seen
It was
that
really,
previously.
yeah, that was
All right.
really cool. I also
What
watched
else?
Eternals.
Second longest Marvel movie. It is certified rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, 43%. However, it is 84% audience score. So the audience, it doubles what the critics think.
I don't want to rotten raspberry you because I know you're going to go watch this and
I don't know if
stay
I
till
will
the
or
very, very end.
I know. Are you kidding me? I know that.
Stay to the very, very end.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
think it
can't-
was bad as it
Let's
needed
talk
to be. Like,
Let's talk
okay.
about it when we get to the comic book.
Okay, sure. And
Because-
A Knight's Tale.
Oh, well, A Knight's Tale is fantastic. We love A Knight's Tale. Okay, so
Another Turner family classic.
it is great. I could watch it over and over and over again.
Oh,
I don't
100%.
have it in my top 10, but I probably watched it more than movies in my top 10.
Fair.
Easy.
Fair.
So I'm caught up on Foundation.
Yeah.
I believe the next episode is the last one of the season. It is really good. I'm really enjoying Foundation. I think you might like it.
I want to watch it. I don't know why I haven't.
And
Just when I
that's on
sit down
Apple
to watch
Plus.
it, I'd like pick other things.
Again, has nothing to do with the very little itty bitty to do with the books, but that's okay. I'm cool with it. I rewatched Dune.
Oh, I did that too.
Yeah, so that it gets better every time I see it.
Did you watch it with subtitles?
I watched the first time with subtitles,
Okay.
so I didn't watch the second time. I still don't like the fact that Gurney Halleck does not play an instrument. The minstrel warrior is what he's called.
I really liked the second.
that
So I
gives-
watched it in theaters and then I watched it with subtitles. And I liked
Yeah.
that when he like spoke, I didn't realize most of the time he was speaking poetry.
Yeah, that's
Like, he
from
was quoting.
songs.
I didn't know
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So guess what movie? This movie, they took off all streaming services when COVID started, but now it's back on HBO
that.
Max.
Contagion.
Yes.
I
watched
love that
Contagion.
movie. That movie's
So,
fun.
I
Why'd they
sat
take
there
that
watching
off?
that and go, oh, it could have been a lot worse.
It could, yeah.
I mean,
That's the one with
I
Jude
think-
Law, and he's a bad guy, right?
Well, Jude Law's telling everybody to use Forsythia instead of hydroxychloroquine or, other
Prophet.
Yeah, Prophet. Yes, he's the guy, and
Mm-hmm.
and how they work to get the vaccine and everything, and
Man, and that girl and her dad, she goes to the hospital to just give her dad a hug. That's
She's
how she
dying anyway.
tests. Well,
no. She
That's
injects
how she
herself.
injects herself
Yeah.
and walks into the hospital where her
Right.
dad is dying.
Right.
Man,
Mhm.
so sad.
He goes. She goes, this is how this one doctor did it for whatever. He goes, yeah, he won a Nobel Prize. She goes, I know. Yeah, but it did it. So I loved it. Contagion.
Man, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay. So
Taking the hands of that guy who didn't wash
full
his.
disclosure. Yeah, that was nasty. He just wiped after he cut that pig open. And I sit there and watch this thinking, now they like people were, yeah. So this, I can't, I'm stuttering because watching that movie, how people talked during all this going on in the movie and how we responded to a real life pandemic.
Is similar.
Yes and no. Some things that we did are much better than what they did in the movie. And some things that they did in the movie were the way people reacted was much worse. But the mortality rate was much higher
Mhm.
with the disease and contagion. So it could have
Yeah,
been.
everybody died in the disease and contagion.
No, 25%.
Oh,
But
okay.
still, that's a big chunk. Big chunk.
What is it for COVID?
Nowhere near that. Very itty bitty amount.
I don't know what the
So,
new thing is about
full
that.
disclosure,
Yes, sir.
when you talk about Little Women,
Yes.
I was thinking Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, Daddy.
I
Little
know.
Women. That is
Well,
not the same.
I know that now. Your mom and I watched Little Women.
Little
It's
Women is so good.
fantastic.
Little Women's phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I
Daddy.
loved it. I know.
Daddy.
I was thinking Pride and Prejudice.
Daddy.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Aw,
I had Pride
man.
and Prejudice the whole time.
Little
So we
Women. I
watched-
was going to say that movie is so good.
So good. Really enjoyed it. Your mom's like, I think this could be one of my new favorites.
Aw. I need you
I
to
was
know
like-
I pulled that up to watch that the other day, and then
Uh-huh.
Timothy Chalamet came on screen, and I was like, oh, I want to watch Dune instead.
Yeah. I, yeah. I liked how it ended. Although in the movie, you don't know, did she end up with the guy or did she not end up with the guy?
That's part of it. And some
Yeah.
of the story is that she, like, in the book Little Women, that she
Yeah.
did have to make the character end up with a person so that it would get published.
That's what she did in this. That's what she did in the book.
And that was like a
Yeah, you keep your $500 and I'll keep the copyright. Yeah, I was like, that's smart.
smart girl.
Goodness.
Smart girl.
Anyway, so that's it. And I've been watching Doom Patrol again, but it's gotten really bonkers and off the rails, and I just turned it off. So, but I
Did
do
you
that
see?
a lot.
Do you finally get why I'm like, ugh, Amy?
Which one's Amy? Oh,
Amy.
BTW. She's the White Widow.
Yeah.
Right?
Florence
I
Pugh.
think they tried to make her look heavy in that movie.
You think?
I do. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, I don't. Oh, she burnt the book.
She burnt the book.
I was like,
Ooh.
oh my gosh,
Ooh.
I couldn't believe it.
Ooh, I get
ah.
man. So the whole thing is like, which March sister are you? I'm Beth.
I don't know.
I'm
Which
for
one's
sure.
Beth?
No, is it Beth? Which one
Which
is
one?
it?
Which one dies?
I'm the one. I'm not. It's not the one that dies. I'm the
Which person played it?
Hermione.
Okay, that's the one that got married. Why are you that one?
Meg. I'm Meg. Beth is the sickly one. I'm just
Why?
like I'm not Joe. I'm not Beth.
I think
I'm
you
not
might
Amy.
be an amalgam of.
I
different
think if I
characteristics
was
of-
one, it would be Meg. Beth is the
All
one
right.
who dies. So I'm not Beth either. She's too gentle.
Mm-hmm. I'm none of them.
Aw, Little Women. What
Okay.
a good. Now I'm
All
just
right,
looking at pictures.
Stop it. Quit it. Because
The
we're
costuming.
taping it.
Okay,
I know.
I'm sorry.
I
You're right.
agree. People
You're
can do
right.
that themselves. Quit looking at pictures on
I'm
a
sorry.
podcast recording.
It was really
Yeah.
good. I'm not
Anyway.
Beth, I'm Meg. But
Pull list time.
pull list, Pop's pull list. So, friends, for those of you who don't know what a pull list is, hey, we're glad that you're listening to this for the first time. Let me tell you what a pull list is if you don't know what it is. A pull list is a list of comics that your local comic book shop proprietor has on file. And what they do is they will either special order books for you from the distributor or pull that book from their inventory before placing the comic inventory on the shelf. That way you have what you're collecting saved for you. That way you do not miss an issue. Oh, Dad's
But
making a face.
this week, my shop forgot one of mine.
Oh no.
And
Are they going to try to get it for you?
They had one copy left on the shelf. I got the last copy.
Dang.
I'm so glad. And this week is a struggle because I've got so many that I want to call my books of the week. That
Well, do we have
it's-
a book of the week and a
we
honorary
do. We have a
mention?
book of the week, and then the rest of them are honorable mentions.
Well,
So-
you can't have a million honorable mentions.
Well, I'm going to mention them all and honor them.
Well, how am I going to write them all down?
It's okay.
okay.
We'll just say the book of the week, and then you can tell what the other ones
Okay.
are. We won't
okay,
have an
okay.
honorable mention.
Okay.
But
Well, no, you can. How
didn't-
about you say them? But
Didn't
I
have
just say you have
okay.
a lot of honorable mentions in our blurb.
didn't have a lot of Marvel to choose from this week, so
Okay.
I only chose one Marvel.
Okay, love that. What is it?
And it is a tie-in. So this is a word that somebody might not know.
I don't know
a
that
lot of-
word.
A lot of times when a comic book company does a event, they'll have books that tie in to that event. So one
Like
of
a
the events going
crossover
on-
episode.
Exactly. One of the
Okay.
events going on right now is the death of Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. Well, they are printing out little one shots, crossover of whatever. And this is Strange Academy Presents issue
You
1.
like Strange Academy.
I love Strange Academy, which is the school that Doctor Strange teaches and founded. So the school says, we are sending everyone home until we can figure out what we're going to do. And the cool thing is at the beginning of the book, it's a flashback where Doctor Strange and the Enchantress are going to battle these wizards because they have her sons. The Enchantress has twins, which are currently attending the Strange Academy. And Doctor Strange is like, are you serious? Did you do one of those I'll give my firstborn deals? And she goes, well, I didn't think I'd have kids. So she goes, I've done this several times, she said.
I've done this several times.
So they battle him at the beginning, and she says, well, you know, once he gets free, he's just going to come back and do this again. He goes, this person will never bother you as long as I live. So Doctor Strange is dead.
Uh-oh.
So the creature comes to take one of the brothers. And then it is the Enchantress, the other brother, going
That's
to
cool.
this land to get the other brother back. It's really
So it's
good.
Strange Academy presents what?
That's it. Strange Academy Presents issue 1. That's
Okay.
all it says.
Cool.
And at the end of the book, it is like 1 or 2 pages of each character, like what they're doing at home. And like
cool.
they'll be texting their friends like, gosh, this is like
This is so
H-E
lame.
double
Why are we
hockey
in
sticks.
school?
And he goes, literally, no, that's where I live, you know. You know. And the cool thing is it's written by the guy who writes the series, but each one is drawn by
By different
artists.
Aw.
Really
That's
cool.
really
So it highlights
cool.
each character.
That's
and,
fun.
that was a fun book. to
That's
pick up.
awesome. Cool
A
beans.
new book out by DC.
Ooh, what is it? New. So issue
called
1.
Issue 1. It's a
Okay,
12
love
issue
it.
miniseries by Tom Taylor, the guy who I love, who's doing Nightwing. He also did Deceased.
You do like
This is
Nightwing and
called
Deceased.
Dark Knights of Steel, issues 1 through 12. It's a 12 issue miniseries, so it only is going to last 12 issues. And this is a what if type book.
What if
Superman
Batman was a knight?
It's better than that. Superman is born on Earth. His mom and dad she's pregnant. His mom and dad land on Earth in medieval times.
Okay.
His son's being born. The people are coming, knights are coming to get the dad. And he's like, we mean you no harm. We mean you no harm. And they come after him and he just shoots them out with his laser vision he didn't know he had, kills
Oh
them all.
no. Oh
And
no.
then it's 30 years later or 20 years later, 15 years later or whatever. And Superman is like the son of the king and queen, which is his mom and dad.
Mm.
And Batman is the
Dark Knight.
knight, the Bat Knight.
Oh yeah.
And he has his
This is sick.
he has his group of Robins.
That's sick.
And they go to take care of all the magic because that's what gets Batman. That's what can harm Superman is magic. And it's medieval times.
That's so fun.
I don't want to spoil it. But it is a great read. They're worried about the Green Man, who I thought the entire time was the Martian Manhunter, but I think it's the Green Lantern, I think. And you find out an interesting lineage for Batman. So
Arthur.
No, anyway.
Man. Okay, so
Dark Knights of Steel.
if you were into medieval things, like
And
are we talking
Batman
like
and
King
Superman.
Arthur, Robin type of medieval vibes?
Oh yeah, it's King Arthur straight away.
Okay,
Jefferson, the Black Lightning is like the other kingdom that they're afraid of because he has the superpowers. They think it's magic, so they're afraid of magic. So all of anyway.
This is awesome. Okay, so if this is something you might be interested in, it's a 12-issue miniseries, so it's going to take you a year to collect them all
Take you a year to collect them all. Mhm.
because one issue will probably come out a month. And
exactly.
then, perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
So one of my first independent is by Image Comics. This is the one that I didn't get it in my pools, but I got the last copy. It's called New Burn, Newburn, issue 1 by Image. And this is written by Chip Zdarsky, which I
Who
love
you
because he
like.
does Daredevil.
Hmm.
So this character is he's coming in on a murder. So you think he's a detective,
Murder.
but he's not really a detective.
Oh no.
The cops let him in. They know who he is. And this was like a mob hit. Someone killed someone in the mob, blah, blah, blah. So you come to find out that this guy used to be a police officer. He is no longer a police officer. He is on retainer for every mob family there is.
To
with
do what?
with one rule. No one touches him. So if someone murders this person, I find out who did it. If someone steals something from this person and they hire me, I find out who did it. So the mobs are like,
He's their detective.
Yes, he's a
He is
detective.
the mob detective.
Exactly.
What is
So,
his
like,
name?
Newburn. His last name is Newburn, and very cool.
Oh,
Like
so
he
it's not
literally,
New Burn.
his
it's
last
just-
name is Newburn.
Okay. I had
Great
two
book.
words, capital N, capital B, but it's not.
He literally tracks down this guy so darn fast, but like he sees that there's he sees like there's like cameras on somewhere, and he knocks on the door, and they're like, I need to come in here and look at your cameras. And the guy goes, what's the, I don't know who you are. And he like punches
said,
him in the throat or
Detective
whatever.
Newburn, you turd.
And the lady in there goes, he doesn't know you. He doesn't know who you are. We're sorry. Be easy on the new guy, and yeah. So
That's awesome. You know what it makes me think of?
what?
It makes me think of John Wick.
Well, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like there's an underground thing, but
Yeah.
this guy is he has a driver. I mean, yeah.
What was that movie that came out? I can't remember what it was, but it was the hospital for it was like the mob hospital.
Oh, I don't know.
Shoot.
The dog. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, never mind.
I know there was a TV show called The Tick where the one of the characters, she would fix up the people in the mob. So there is a comic book about a black doctor who during the mob times couldn't get financing to create his own practice because of the prejudice back in the 50s or whatever, that he literally moved to Chicago and became the doctor for the mob. And that's a true story.
Hotel
Yeah.
Artemis.
Oh, I never saw it.
I didn't either. I wonder
Okay.
where I could watch it. That might
So
be
my
fun.
next comic is also from Image. I have 3 Image comics since I only did one Marvel.
Man, we love Image.
So
okay,
my
what
next
else?
one, this is a flat out horror comic called The Silver
Okay.
Coin. It is creepy as all get out. It's a new story each time, and it deals with this coin. It never
Issue
turns
what?
out good. This is issue 6.
Okay, so is it like Monkey's
so-
Paw type of vibe?
No, not really. But it's just nothing good happens.
Okay,
Even
cool.
the person we're rooting for in the story
Not a good
never
dude.
turns out good.
Man, sucks to be
But
that
this
person.
coin, whoever gets this coin, bad stuff happens each time they use. So this takes place like in the 80s when there were arcades. And this poor kid is bullied at the arcade.
Mm.
And it's like watching Mortal Kombat video game. Like he's wanting to play that game, and the guy's like got all the big high score or whatever. So he finds the coin in
no.
in like one of those wishing wells or whatever, and goes and puts it in. And yeah, it's, if you like horror comic, this is usually written by a different writer every time, but it's drawn by the same guy. So there's uniformity in the series because it has the same artist.
Okay.
And so different writer, same artist. Silver Coin, great. My next one is DC. It's issue 9 of 10, The Swamp Thing. And The Swamp Thing is just awesome. I can't help. This is a great comic. And if people aren't reading it, I don't know why, but this pits the new Swamp Thing against his brother, who also has a power. But he's more of like a brutal He doesn't want humans in the green or whatever. And um, what happens is this company has one of the Swamp Thing's old bodies. So like he would
Oh
like
no.
he
Yeah.
would like leave his body and go to make a new one, grow a new one or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, and you come to find out that all this big tech firm or whatever, all their stuff has come from stuff from deconstructing things that they got from the old Swamp Thing's body.
That's not good.
They want a live specimen.
That's not good.
So they're trying to get a live. I know. And so the Swamp Thing shows up. His brother's there to destroy that company, and there's just one more issue. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Man.
Mhm.
Yuck.
So my last regular is issue 9 of Crossover by Image Comics.
Okay.
Crossover is the comic book where comic book came to life in Denver, Colorado.
Yes.
Something happened
Yes.
and it all happened. So there are comic book characters
I remember
alive.
you mentioned
Yes.
this
Mhm.
as one of
Loved it.
your in like the first
A while
issue,
ago.
like 9 months ago.
Right. This is issue 9. It's written by Donny Cates, God Country.
Mm-hmm. Man, God Country
It is
is
so
good.
cool because there are so many comic characters from Image Comics that they're allowing these people to put in their comic books.
Oh, fun.
So there is now what's happening is someone is killing comic book creators.
That's not
This
good.
is I believe this is an analogy for the comic book industry, honestly, that like this is like inside baseball for comic book fans.
Oh no.
And it's so funny. Why are they killing comic book writers or comic book creators?
I don't know.
Well, someone believes that if you kill the creator and the writer, then the comic book characters that are in our world will not
disappear.
have purpose, will disappear. So
Has that happened?
literally, huh?
Did that work?
So far they've killed 2 comic book characters, two or three comic book writers. And in this issue, there is a famous Image comic book detective called the Powers, and they're going and looking about there's been a murder, and it says, does the name Scott Snyder mean anything to you? We've talked about, yes.
I know that person's name. My eyeballs got really big. I know him.
That's the one, the October, each book that we read in October, the little individual from Comixology were all his. He and Greg Capullo, which also did that book we really liked, We Have Demons.
Oh, what a good one.
Had a huge run on Batman when they relaunched Batman. And so there is a picture of Scott Snyder with chalk outline and blood everywhere.
Oh no.
And they're like, does the name Scott Snyder mean anything to you? And then she's like, at the end, she goes, they go, do you think you know who did it? And she goes, honestly, I have no bleeping clue. I can't put that on there. And I'm going to show Hannah what she's holding in her hand.
It's a batarang. She's holding a batarang.
So Batman killed Scott Snyder. Hilarious. I love it.
It's
All
awesome.
right, so here's my book of the week.
Yeah. What is it?
Book of the week.
Image.
No.
DC.
That one was Crossover. It's from DC.
Okay.
This is it's a mini series. I don't know how many issues there's going to be. It's book 1, The Human Target, from DC Black Label, which I don't know why it's called Black Label. I think Black Label means they can just do whatever they want to do, but there weren't any like dirty words.
It was Vertigo, but now it's Black Label.
Whatever. I can't make heads or tails out of it.
Well, no, that's actually what happened.
I understand. So this is by Tom King. I've like a lot of his stuff. He's doing the new Supergirl. He's doing the Batman, Catwoman.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Adventures.
I'm with you, Pops.
There is a character in DC called the Human Target who basically becomes another person, and
I'm another person.
pretty much, and finds out he lets himself be killed because that way you find out who it was that wanted to kill you, and they can capture that person. So in this issue, he's Lex Luthor. So he gets shot
Man.
midway through, and course, lives, and they're like, well, here's who it was, whatever, blah blah blah. Then something happens, and he has been poisoned. So before he was shot, someone poisoned him. So now it becomes, who hates Lex Luthor so bad that they'd want to kill him? So that is basically, yes, that's
Literally
hilarious.
everyone.
I know, but the thing about it is this comic book takes place, I would say, in the late or early 90s, because the characters that have the biggest, that they believe are linked to, possibly has access to this chemical that he's being poisoned with, is called the Justice League International. So after
Man.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then after this thing called Legends, Justice League rebooted itself, and they became, instead of Justice League America, they were called Justice League International, which was a fan favorite run. And I have the first 6 or 7 issues.
Cool.
So the characters who make that up are like, here's the deal. It seems like Tom King takes these little characters that have been around forever and just puts them through the ringer. You know, so like you've got Mr. Miracle. He's the one that did the Mr. Miracle comic book that I love.
Yes.
Did we talk about that?
I think
book?
so. I don't know if we talked about it on the pod, but I remember you at least mentioning
Yes.
it to me.
So it's got Mr. Miracle, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Black Canary, Captain Atom, Martian Manhunter, Guy Gardner,
Yep,
Fire
I'm with you.
and Ice. You don't know who they are. Then there's like this, there's a Russian character, I can't remember what his name was, and Batman. So one of them, they think, murdered Lex Luthor, but in fact they're murdering the Human Target, and he has 12 days to it's a 12-issue miniseries. That's how many?
12 days.
He has 12 days to figure out who killed him,
Each issue is a
because
day.
that's
That's really
how
cool.
long. The cool thing is Dr.
That's really
Midnight
cool.
is the one who figured out what it was, and he actually invited him to church.
You posted about that on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, there we go.
Aw.
All right, Hannah. That's my
Speed
pull
Racer
list.
or Eternals?
Speed Racer.
Okay. Speed Racer was it a comic too? I know it was an
Yes.
old
It's a-
cartoon. I thought it was a comic as well.
Speed Racer is manga before manga
Okay.
was popular.
Cool.
And if you go back and watch the movie, you can see
It's same kind of style.
they're trying to make it manga as best they can and not really lose the American public, which I think they did. They did lose the American public. But it is over the top, bright colors.
The colors are bright. The characters are wild.
Yes. So this follows the character Speed Racer, and he is basically has been threatened by Royalton Industries.
Which is a big corporation who is like in charge of everything.
You come to find out that all the races have been fixed.
Everything's
and it's
rigged.
all has to do with making money in the stock market. And Speed Racer won't have anything to do with it
his
because
family
he loves his
is
family.
is a family. His dad owns like a garage,
Yeah.
and they're
The
like
Dually
family owned.
Combobulator or whatever the heck the name of those things were. Yes. So, just picture anything wild that you can think of that could happen in a race, and like catapult
Like
throwing a
everything,
beehive,
like it like goes
throwing
like
snakes.
it goes
oil
like
slicks.
upside down, and there are like spikes in the track, and then they're like yeah, it's like Mario Kart, but like
Yes,
10 times crazier than that
10 times crazier.
because you drive
And,
upside down.
What they call the hook? What was the hook called?
Spear hook.
Spear hook. They've got a spear hook.
He's got a spear hook. That's a disqualified. Blah, blah, blah. Yep.
And the whole thing that Speed lost his son.
No.
The
Speed lost his older
Speed
brother.
lost his brother, his older brother.
Race,
Yeah, Pops.
Rex.
Yeah, Rex,
Pops.
which is Racer X. Yeah.
No,
you know
Dad.
that.
What a
It
big
is.
spoiler.
It's not a big spoiler.
I watched
Well,
this with Trevin. I watched
This has
with
been here
Trevin,
forever.
and
I mean,
he
it's
was
old.
like he was like Racer X is clearly his brother. Like
I know.
had never watched it or anything like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, you don't know that. And
Well,
he's
it's
like,
Racer
Hannah,
X, Rex.
it's Racer X, and his name is Rex. I'm like, well, I watched this movie when I was
You should have just said,
Young
you should have had
and-
one response.
didn't know that.
Cool beans.
Cool beans, Trixie.
doing cartwheels in the back.
Doing
She
cartwheels in
did
the
fight.
back.
She
She did fight, but she also did cartwheels for an extremely long amount of time.
Yeah. So this has a big family vibe.
Man, it so does. And I didn't realize that
I
as a
didn't
kid
either till I
watching
sat back
it.
and watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
because we went back, because Trevin was like, man, the relationship that the dad has with his sons is really cool.
and his dad came to realize that I won't make that mistake again.
No, and like,
Because Speed is leaving,
mhm.
and he's like, I just want you to know this door is always open. You're always welcome.
He was like, hey, sit with me and chalk for a second before you choose to leave.
Yeah. And he wasn't
Which,
like,
man, I
I'm not
thought
going to
was-
tell you not to go. I just want you to know I love you. And I
you're
respect
always
what you're
welcome back
doing.
here.
And you're always welcome.
Gave him a
And
big
of course,
hug.
he doesn't stay. And he goes, how long did Royalton say it would take to put that thing together?
36.
36
We'll do it in
hours. We'll do
32.
32.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
And they couldn't have done it without all those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Man, that woman. What a good mom, too.
I know. Yeah.
What a good mom
And
to go give him a
where's-
hug.
where's
And
Trixie just hanging around here?
Trixie, like, does she live there? Question mark. I have questions.
I don't know. I don't think so. But like, she's like taking her up to Inspiration Point. She goes, well, maybe. He goes, what? Do you need a new carburetor? He goes, and then he says, well, maybe when I win.
Do you
the,
for your copter
yeah. Do you need a new something for your helicopter?
for the copter? I'm like,
Yeah.
she just casually has a helicopter.
I
Like,
know. It's
how
hilarious.
old are they? They graduated from high school because they talked about how he barely graduated from high school. But like, how old are they?
But
Are
I
they
mean,
like 19?
he's driving a go-kart in first grade. So, I mean, with a bomb on it, I love that she decks that punk girl at the very beginning.
She just and my daddy says this, and my daddy says that.
And then she just socks
She
her
just
right in the
whacks
jaw.
her right in the nose.
So Royalton, the guy that plays Royalton, I can't remember his name, but he's a great villain. He is a huge villain in the V for Vendetta movie too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he gets his there too. But I
cooking Zeet Liebchen.
that's the deal. Are those pancakes I
Pancakes.
smell?
Our love.
Yeah, it's true. We love good pancakes.
Pan cooking Zeet Liebchen. And nunjas. The nunjas up in there.
Yeah. Did you notice when so there are ninjas that come and try to poison them, and they come to get Speed, and then one of them backs into Pops,
And
did
he
you
had
see
a
cracks his
Greco-Roman
knuckles?
wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And he lifts him up over his head and is like
spins him.
spinning
Perfect
him.
cartoon, just like a cartoon. And
Hysterical.
he goes, "Those
Chim
ninjas?"
Chim.
He goes, "More like nunjas." Yeah,
And then the girls come up and like, what's happening? And
I
there was-
loved it. So
the
this
ninja.
movie is not for everyone, but it is for me.
What does
and-
that mean? I think
I mean,
anyone could
because-
enjoy it.
Absolutely, but I mean, it's a lot to take in.
It's visually
It's very, very visually
weird.
stimulating. Yes, it's an arty type film. It's psychedelic almost.
Yeah.
Um,
Mom gets sicky when she watches it.
well,
I remember
watched it
that
on the
from
computer, so-
I remember that from being a kid. Like I
Oh, really?
remember that we watched it all together and Mom was like, "Okay, you all can watch this movie whenever you want. I'm just not watching it with you because it makes me nauseous." Cuz Mom doesn't like 3D movies
Right.
and stuff like that either cuz it's bad for her.
So the Mach 5 becomes a Mach 6, and he has to listen to it.
Yeah. And then you don't get into the back of a race car cuz you want to be a driver. You do it cuz
Do it because you're driven. Yeah.
I just hope I'm there to watch when you become a racer or
Yeah,
whatever.
and he
like
was
I don't
there.
know. And he
Yeah.
was teardrop down my face.
I know, teardrop. That's a
Casa
bad car
Cristo.
too. That orange or that yellow and black car. It's Racer X's
That's not.
car.
It's not orange.
I said yellow.
Okay, it is yellow.
Yeah, it's yellow.
You said
Yellow
orange
and-
originally. and
I
I'm like,
did, but I
that's-
changed it to yellow.
That's not what color it is,
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah, the cars are gorgeous. I wish I would have had a Mach 5. That'd be awesome. Which became
They're-
a Mach 6.
They're really cool.
I know it.
Spritle
wish
and
I'd be
Chim
able to-
Chim, hysterical.
They are hysterical. They were
Cackled
just
at
like in
them.
in the comic. This was a cartoon too. I watched
Mm-hmm.
this growing up.
I knew it was a
This was-
cartoon and a comic.
Mm-hmm. So, and I had a bunch of the comics, and I actually
Yeah.
was sitting there watching it, and I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't got rid of these. But I say that about every comic book. I wish I hadn't got rid of them. So, yeah. Anywho.
Man, it was I really enjoy it. Lots of like quotable moments. If that is something that's entertaining to you, the family aspect was very sweet and beautiful. I like
Very
how
nice.
they do good use of flashbacks sequences, like telling the story while going back and telling like
Yeah.
what you need to know about the story to understand better, like in the first like 30 minutes of the movie, which
Right.
was is fun to watch. It's a fun
Hmm.
like storytelling method. And
It was like watching a
Sparky
manga. Yeah, Sparky, the
Sparky
who's a
just
mechanic who
reading
helps.
reading the newspaper articles to the point where he really needs to read the room and stop reading the newspaper articles. And the mom's like, "That's enough, Sparky."
Yeah,
He did that like 4 different times. It was funny.
it's funny. I know it. So yeah, I love the movie. I liked watching it. It's an arty movie. It was by the Wachowskis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Mm-hmm.
so if that gives you any inclination about, uh,
They
it's
did
not like any
the
of the
La
Matrixes.
La La Matrix.
Yeah,
Matrixes.
the
Matrices.
Matrices. Ooh, I don't know.
Which one is it?
The Matrix trilogy, the quadrilogy, because they got a fourth one coming out Christmas
I'm
Day.
gonna watch it.
Rated R.
We'll watch it.
This was
We'll watch it.
PG,
This was
wasn't it?
PG. It's just
Yeah.
PG.
So, but it is pretty flashy, a lot of bright lights. So if you are
Mhm.
sensitive, photosensitive, strobing or something like that, it would not be good.
Perhaps don't watch
Uh,
it.
Perhaps don't
Or
watch
if you
it.
get ill from visual stuff like that,
But the
don't
acting
watch it
was,
either.
I enjoyed
Acting's
it.
yeah, it's a fun movie. Fun kid movie.
Yeah. All
If
right.
you haven't
I
seen
give
it,
it.
it's on HBO Max. Go watch it.
What cup did they try to win?
I
The
was
what?
gonna say the Piston Cup, but that's not it.
I know.
That's
You didn't want in this cup.
the Grand
Sorry.
Prix.
Yes, I give it.
How about 5 glasses of milk?
Oh yes, because that's what you get when you win. You chug a lug the milk,
You
and
get
then
a cold glass
he
of milk.
does kiss her
He
at the
kisses
end.
Trixie. He
Yeah,
does kiss
with the
her.
little hearts. However, there's a disclaimer. The
For the cootie sensitive
for
viewer.
the cootie sensitive. So Chim Chim and
For those who have not been
Bridal.
inoculated,
Those who've not
for
been
those who have not
inoculated.
been inoculated,
He's got
or the
he's got a
cootie
doctor's
sensitive
outfit
viewer,
on.
yeah,
The
him and
cootie
Chim Chim.
sensitive viewer. This may not be appropriate. But if you notice the lights flashing in the
Hysterical.
background,
They become
were
little
hearts.
hearties.
Yeah, they came hearts.
Oh,
So that was
sweet.
cool. Yeah,
Sweet,
the
sweet,
arts in
sweet.
it. It was gorgeous.
It's fun. It's fun to watch. I
All
enjoy
right,
it.
so Hannah and I read, which is available on Amazon Prime. If you have
Mhm.
Amazon Prime, you can use it through the Kindle app. It is the
Mhm.
Eternals Volume 1, Jack Kirby. This was the first ever introduction to the Celestials and the Eternals.
I have a question.
Go.
Is this Galactus?
No,
Are you sure?
absolutely 100%.
Okay.
The Celestials
entire
are
time
not
I kept being
Galactus.
like, it's Galactus.
No.
Is it
the
is it
Celestials.
what's the Celestial's name?
There's like 4 or 5 of them, and I can't keep them all situated.
Amethyst?
Ammonon
Am-
or Amathon or
Ameth
Amethyst? No, that is not it. I think that's my birthstone, actually.
It's like Amaranth or
No, mine's garnet. I think.
Amaranth.
Whatever. Anywho, yes. So this is a first glimpse at what the Eternals is, how they were created. So this is drawn, created, written by the King, which is what he's
Kirby.
called, Jack Kirby. And he is the one who basically at DC created the New Gods, which is Darkseid, Granny Goodness, which you might know, Desaad. Those were characters that were shown in the Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you
Right?
now. Yeah.
And Mr.
But
Miracle,
Darkseid's written weird.
Mr. Miracle, Big Barda. These are all characters.
But this is a Marvel comic, so he worked
This
for
is
both.
Marvel. Yeah, he worked for both. Mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah, he
I
had a
bet
falling
there's
out
an
with Marvel.
interesting
and-
story there.
Well, I have a huge graphic novel that is the life of Jack Kirby that you should read. It is fantastic, but it
I'll
is
read it then.
thick.
Okay,
It is big.
perhaps I will read it
Yeah.
in multiple sittings.
Gotcha. So you're introduced to all these characters, and you come to find out that there were 3 types of people. There are Eternals, humans,
Humans and
deviants,
deviants.
all created by the Celestials.
Yes.
And all of our myths or
Are
our
about-
religions
Are about the Eternals.
or the deviants,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm just dying. How did that work in the movie?
They mentioned
Did
that
they
some of the
touch?
myths, specifically for Thena and Icarus.
Yeah. So how about that? They come up with these names that Athena, which is really Athena,
Athena.
Makari, which is Mercury, Circe, which is Circe, just spelled differently.
Hmm.
Um,
Icarus is Icarus spelled differently with a K instead of a C.
right. So they're all like the Greek mythology were how humans at the time responded to the presence of the Eternals, who've been
Hmm.
here forever, and they're just not supposed to interfere until the Celestials come back. So did the Celestials come back?
Do you want me to spoil you?
Hold on. I don't know what to do for our. We're
I
going to talk a
don't.
little bit of
I don't want to rotten
Eternals.
raspberry you for the entire
Okay, then
movie
don't rat and
because
rotten
like
raspberry.
some stuff happens that's like pertinent. I think for the next phase. Like
Gotcha,
I
but
think this is a big setup for the
do they
next
touch
phase.
on some of the stuff we see in the comic book?
Yes.
So what happens in the comic book is the Celestials come back to Earth. They are summoned back. The Deviants want humankind to battle enslaved or battle the space gods because they don't like the space gods. They don't like the Celestials.
Yes.
So in the comic book, one of the deviants, they can change the way they look, makes himself look like the devil, so that he basically gets humans to think that the space devils, the devil came from space. So this godlike
so you need to
creature,
fight these things that are coming back.
you need to fight these things. So
The
they try to put
deviants in the movie are just creatures.
they can't change the way they look.
They don't like talk.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. But
Well, they're
is Crow in the movie? Is Crow in the movie?
I don't know who that is.
He was the one who had the Satan horns in the comic book we read. And then there's like King Lizard. The king.
Blah.
All right, Hannah
Not
doesn't know what to say because
really.
she's seen the movie. Gotcha.
Not really, but kind of, but not really. Like an amalgamation
So
of all of them.
we're gonna stop talking about the movie,
Okay.
and I just want to know, what do you think about the comic book?
Some of the stuff from the movie made more sense after reading the comic book.
I thought it would.
It did. Man, I don't like Icarus.
In
I don't
the
like
movie
Icarus
or the comic
in the
book?
comic.
Why is that?
Like he kind of
Because
was
he-
like a I'm gonna save everything kind of guy.
Right.
Which
Well, this
is
was
just-
made in the 60s, right?
Which yeah, like
No,
I
70s.
get
70s. It
I
was
get
a 35 cent
it was
cover
very
book.
much like there are damsels in
Damsels in
distress.
distress. And
I'm gonna
Circe looked like
save
she was
them. And
dancing every time.
Like what the heck was happening there?
I know.
That made zero.
that's-
I'm like, who's this girl? Why is she I like Circe in the movie. Was much more
Well, yes.
strong.
And in the Eternals book now, which there's an Eternals book that I've collected,
Cool.
it's different. But women are portrayed differently now, right? In comics than they were.
Part of that
back
was
then.
just that it was written in the 70s.
right.
And I've
Yeah.
come to recognize that from all of the times we have read books
Yes.
from the 70s. But man, this poor human girl
Although
who like
the Black
lost her
Panther book was
dad.
good.
Yeah, the Black Panther book was sick.
Yeah, for being written in the late 60s, early 70s.
Except I thought it was a trope, but apparently it wasn't a trope because that was the first time that it had ever happened.
Right, when tropes aren't tropes.
And like this trope is lame, and Dad was like, "No, but that's not a trope."
The woman leaving her dad. Yeah,
That was sad.
Mhm.
That was. I'm pulling
But
up the comic.
What do you
right
think
now.
about the art?
The art was cool.
It's classic Kirby style.
It was just classic old school, like from what I remember, like reading from other things.
Yeah. So, the other characters, like we also saw Makari and Thena in that 5-issue, right?
Yeah, Thena looked
And
dope.
Zeus, which is Zuros or whatever. Did you catch that? The
Mhm.
dad, the one in the big with the red beard and red hair, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Athena seemed to be more of a stronger woman than Circe did.
Mhm.
Circe seemed to be like she was just there for play,
Yeah, she was
Like, she
just
was
she was just
toying
going
with
to dance
people.
around.
toying with people. Like she might have a little bit of honorness in her,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like a little
Mhm.
bit of villainy, but she's not. So,
Yeah,
so
I don't. The deviants played a role, but not like they. Yeah, I was like,
I
oh, the
gotcha.
deviants talk.
But
I
they
thought that
didn't in
was
the
weird.
movie.
They did not in the
Yeah.
movie. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this guy talked. Erishim. The guy's name is Erishim. The Red Celestial
Oh, gotcha.
is Erishim,
Yeah. So if you don't know what celestials are, if you saw Guardians of the Galaxy, they go to nowhere, which is a
which is a
place
dead
inside the
celestial head.
skull of a celestial. So apparently celestials came and seeded the earth, and that's where everything came from. So
Hmm.
yeah. Um I I liked this book, not necessarily for the story, but the art is fantastic.
Yeah, the old school art is just really fun.
And it's neat watching Jack Kirby try to create a new gods, basically, is what he was
Hmm.
creating.
Yeah,
And
he
then
was
he
creating
left,
new people.
he left Marvel and created new gods at DC. So I wonder what happened, why he left and why he did that. And we're gonna have to figure that story out. Now I want to go
Yeah,
down and
there's
read
some
that
there's
book.
some stuff happening there. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, I felt bad for the human Margot. That poor
yeah.
girl. She was going through a lot.
Why would her dad
And
even stay there? I didn't get that. If he's gonna die there, what's the heck use of any work that he's gonna do? It'll just die with him, right?
yeah, and what was with like Ajax and the other people there?
Ajax. They were just there to prepare the coming of the Celestials, right? So Eternals can never die,
Hmm.
but they can be locked away at the bottom of the ocean forever.
Was Ajax an Eternal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh huh.
Okay.
So, and that reminded me a lot of Old Guard. Do you remember we
Hmm.
watched the movie Old Guard? How the one they couldn't kill the
Man.
girl, so they put her in that coffin and just put her in that, so she continually drowned and die, and then wake up and then die, and then over and over
Awful.
again for, yeah.
Awful.
So
But yeah, I really I didn't
I would not collect this for the story.
yeah.
I would
Not
collect it
not
for the
this old
art.
one. Like I get and I'm glad that we have access to media that's a time capsule of the place that it was of
Yeah,
what the world was when it was created.
right.
Like
And
I
where are the
can
rest of the superheroes in New York, by the way?
yeah.
This whole battle takes place with
LOL.
these deviants
I
in New
think
York, and there's
that's
nobody else around.
man, what a
Like
qualm
Spider-Man,
about
the
I,
Avengers,
that's what gets me about these comics.
Fantastic Four.
Like how in the world can like yeah. I
Gotcha.
just think it's funny. That's
Back
something
then it
that I
didn't
think's
matter,
funny.
which is also a good and a bad thing now, though, because
Hmm.
now you have to consider everything when you're creating something, how it
Hmm.
messes with everybody else, which I don't like, because then you have to collect other books to make them make sense sometimes, and it just gets expensive.
Lame. But I mean,
So
good
anyway,
marketing tool, I guess, to get
there you
people to
go.
buy stuff. I don't know. I feel like I talked about it in a lame way. Like I didn't have a lot of things to say
But like you
about the
said,
comic.
flipping through the first 5 issues of this really put the movie a little bit greater perspective.
Yeah, it made the characters made more sense. I think this I don't want to spoil anything.
Then don't. It's okay. People could just pick this up if you have the ability to do it, and just flip through
Perhaps
it.
read it after. Don't
after.
read this and then watch the movie. Watch the movie, and
Well,
if you are like, what could, like, what
why did
does this
yeah, what
mean?
did-
Could this
yeah.
impact future things? Question mark.
And
Is this?
there are other Eternal books available free on Amazon
Mhm.
Prime.
Mhm.
A bunch, actually. Several. The book I just did, you could buy the trade. It's written by Karen Gillan. It's new.
By
And the
Karen
trade-
Gillan?
Karen Gillan. It's spelled completely wrong.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Amy Pond, and I was like, why
No.
haven't we talked about this yet?
No.
I'm like, I have to read it.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry guys, if we're sort of giving this comic a little bit.
I mean,
of
it
a-
wasn't bad.
No, it's just a thing.
Did
of its
you love
time.
it?
No, I didn't
Okay.
love it,
I
but I
feel
liked
bad.
reading it.
I mean, I enjoyed. Yeah,
Just
the
because
art.
I like the history and I appreciate Jack Kirby. I understand him more than you do,
Yeah,
and
I
about
don't.
about his creation of the other characters, the new gods. It seems I really want to dive more into that now. I
Do
want
it.
to find out why is this?
Yeah, because
Anyway.
man, I don't know. I don't know.
They did a mini series in the late 80s on the
Okay.
Eternals, much better, drawn by Walter Simonson, I believe,
Cool.
who made Frog Thor, by the way, and Beta Ray Bill created them. So
Yay.
yeah.
Yay, frog
Anyway,
lore.
there you go, guys.
I enjoyed it as the time capsule of the time period in which
There
it
you
was
go.
originally written, and
There you
I
go.
think it gave the context of the movie. It made more sense.
Right.
And
And you have to
gave
realize
me-
they're not going to make the movie about a comic book that was written in 1973 or 4
No.
or whatever the heck it was written. 2. I don't even know when it was written. So, yeah. So you take that as a grain of salt. Plus, they're characters nobody's ever heard of. So there.
Also true.
All
It was
right.
interesting.
So, Hannah, should I go see the movie?
100%.
All right. There you go,
100%.
folks.
I mean,
Hannah says
maybe
100%.
maybe don't go
How many Jack Kirby's would you give it?
the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I didn't dislike the movie. I thought it didn't feel extremely long to me either. It felt like there was some dialogue and lore building that perhaps they didn't need to explicitly state because of how cinematic the film was. Like we could have just watched it and that would have made sense. I enjoy lore. Like I enjoy
Which is my beef with the Dune movie. I think it needs more lore.
and that's something that I enjoy. There wasn't a lot of like fight 'em up action sequences, and so if you're expecting that, because like if you're expecting a traditional Marvel movie, this is not it. If you're wanting a traditional action film, go see Venom Let There Be Carnage, because that's what that is, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. This film is more like lore relationship
Gotcha.
built and based on,
Mhm.
and man, it was kind of sad.
You think they're setting up Galactus?
That's what I thought the Celestials were.
Gotcha.
I was like, is this Galactus question mark?
Well, they own it now.
And I'm like, for real? I was like, is this person going to be Silver Surfer? I thought that at one point.
Gotcha.
I don't know what's true.
Yeah. I don't either. I don't think so. I don't think they've
It
got
was-
any plan for any of that stuff.
It was weird.
5-10 years down the road.
It was
I'll be
weird.
70 by the time we
I-
get to Silver Surfer.
But by the time we get a good Fantastic Four movie,
I'll be like, what?
You'll be like,
Huh?
what?
Who?
Did I say something?
Yeah, that'll be me.
It'll be
All
what-
right, end roll,
in the movie
Hannah.
theater. Okay, hey, friends, thanks for hanging out with us for this past hour. We're glad to be able to spend some time with you. Our art is created by Nate Turner. He made that in Microsoft Paint. Hey, thanks for doing that for us, bud. He's a multi-talented individual. Our intro music is by Brockwell Nason. Check him out anywhere you listen to music. He has some new songs on Apple Podcasts, LOL, Apple Music
Apple
and
Podcasts.
Spotify. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts if you would
5,
do that. Please give us 5
apparently.
stars.
I don't
5
think we've ever been
Jack
rated and
Kirby's or
reviewed
glasses
anywhere.
of milk. If that tickles your fancy and you'd like to do that, hey, that gets people to see us. That's not really why we're doing this. We do this for funsies, but hey, you could do that if you wanted to.
We do
Our
do it for
podcast,
funsies.
our podcast is edited by yours truly, Sis, and our YouTube page is maintained by Pops himself.
Woohoo!
We're thankful for you, friends. We like our
Yes.
little cozy corner of the internet, and we're glad you're
We
here
do.
to join
It is
us.
super cozy. Anybody wants to join, hop in.
Yeah.
All right, Hannah, I love you.
I love you too, Daddy-O.
Till then, folks, we'll catch you on
Catch you on the flippity flop. Bye. And our sweet video friends,
Hello,
thanks for
folks.
hanging with us.
Yeah.
And
Our one viewer that checks us out on Facebook. We appreciate you.
and
No,
we'll
not
see
Facebook. YouTube.
YouTube.
One viewer
Yeah,
on YouTube.
we appreciate you, friend. We'll
All right.
talk to you later, Gator.
Bye, everyone.